Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show. Meet the trusted experts who will give you straight answers and will help guide you on the path of later life care. Now, here's your host, founder, caregiver, and CEO, Suzanne Newman.
And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network. And we are here with Dr. Shawn Weiss and talking about the sixth foundational principle of wellness, which is intellectual wellness. And for those of you that are just joining us, we're talking about keeping your mind sharp, open to new ways of living and learning. And I think that's, ABL, always be learning, right? Always be in a situation where you can stretch your mind. And so, Dr. Shawn, I'm really excited to talk about this topic. How many seniors today, they sit in front of the TV because they may have mobility challenges. They may think about, well, I'm just going to watch TV. I don't need to do much more. I'm retired. They don't think about those things. So I would love to have us start this segment and talk about why are these principles important in learning and what are some things people can do right now to stretch their brains?
Well, I think it's time to, you take inventory of what are your days like? I mean, you have to start there because everybody is different and everybody has different situations. Like you said, medical conditions that might affect their mobility or their safety where they can't leave the home without somebody. So think about where you are in your day-to-day life. Is it always the same?
Yep.
Do you spend a lot of time in front of the TV? Do you have family members come over? Do you get out with friends? Are you able to go out of the home? And what are you doing you need to change it up, right? When you change it up, you're going to start new pathways in the brain. You're going to start seeing more joy and more positivity. And, the rates of depression in seniors right now, because of being stagnant and feeling like there's really nothing else they can do, is staggering. And we really need to change that mindset. So, I encourage people, again, take inventory of what you're doing and then start adding something in a little bit each day. Turn the TV off. You'd be surprised at how many seniors are actually really proficient on the iPads and the phones. Put them down, right? And what can you do that can stimulate? So there's a variety of things. If you're in a senior community, there's lots of activities that are going on. There's book clubs, there's bingo, there's card playing, things that really require you to use your brain and stimulate your mind, which are all wonderful things. I want to think about something that you like to do. Do you like to do word searches? There are some great technology pieces for those that do have computers and iPads and phones. There's some great apps that keep your mind going, like Luminosity, Cognifit. There's many great free apps that you can do yourself or have, download for your loved one. They're easy to play, but just get yourself going. So it's really important that you're picking one or two new things a day to try. Now, the studies are showing, Suzanne, that's just not really, it's great. Don't get me wrong, it's great. You need to be doing something. But you need to really combine these cognitive challenges with physical activity because the physical activity piece is so important in your brain health, right? Oxygen flow, you're building strength, you're changing your mobility. When you do combine physical activities and you're getting exercise, it improves your sleep patterns, it improves digestion. So we talk about all of the foundational principles, they all connect to each other. So really important, and I talk about a thing called dual task training. And I know we've talked about it many times, Suzanne, about the importance of, I like to, how many birds can I kill with one stone, right? If you're saying, hey, I'm going to start doing crosswords or things like that, I combine physical activities with those cognitive challenges. So I'll even exercise my patients. And while they're exercising, I'm having them name as many states as they can out loud, or I'm having them count backwards, or I'm having them, how many things can you name that begins with the letter S, or it can be anything. There's no black and white. So that's why it's great. You can do all kinds of things with it, but really challenging the physical component with the mental component is executive functioning.
And I remember you interviewed also for Social Wellness, Denise Medved. And I
She's
remember
great, isn't she?
she is, if
Yeah.
you go on Answers for Elders, we have her
Mm-hmm.
podcast, their episode, but she told me if you can do three things together, she works with people to move your leg to the left in rotation, move your arm, right arm to the right, and then say and recite the alphabet at the same time. I was going like, there's no way
I
I could
can't know
do
if
that.
I
I
can do
laughed
it.
so hard. But this is something that I think even if you're sitting in a chair, you could challenge yourself to do little things like that. And that gets the brain moving. I mean, that helps with the brain, does it
Right.
not? Yeah.
Simple things. Let's say you are, you sit in the chair a lot, you have mobility issues, maybe there's
Mhm.
some things out of your control with that. But can you kick your legs? Can you march your legs? And let's
Mhm.
say while you're doing the marching of the legs, you are counting out loud. You're doing
Yeah.
things that are verbalizing
Mhm.
and causing your brain to have to focus on both things at the same time.
Right.
Um, Simple things that you can do. And you'll find even after a short period of time, you'll start seeing the improvements of just feeling more clear, having more
Well,
mental clarity.
yeah, and even if you have mobility challenges, I know my wonderful Apple Watch tells me it's time to stand.
Yes, I
And
say my rule is every hour. You
yeah.
have to get up every hour and stretch, move, do some sort of exercise,
Mhm.
or sit up at the edge of your seat if you can't get up on your own,
Mhm.
and work your arms and do all kinds of things
Sure.
to increase your heart rate, to increase
Mhm.
your blood flow every
Right.
single hour.
Yeah, and those types of talking about a tool to help coach you, I think it is once an hour that it will
Mhm.
tell you it's time to stand. And
Yeah,
I do it. And if I can, obviously if I'm recording or something like that, I can't. But
yeah.
it's nice to have that little reminder. And there's all kinds of apps out there that says, the standing is important. It gets your blood flowing and so many things that it helps you to get better circulation. And of course, as we get older, that can diminish.
Yeah. And even with younger people, since COVID, there's a lot of people working from home. There's a lot of people that are stuck behind their computers all day, and they're
Mhm.
really starting to see the negative effects of that. So that's why you see the standing desk and
Mhm.
all of those things. So it's the principle is the same.
Yeah. So speaking of Denise, she talked about intellectual wellness last year for us. And then this
Mhm.
year we had her talk about social wellness, which I thought was brilliant. And it's interesting too, because we talk about interaction with people, we talk about dialogue, there's different forms of conversations. Maybe in certain cases, there might even be conflict or discourse and disagreements, kind of things. But one of the things that I think is really important is doesn't that social wellness and intellectual wellness kind of work hand in hand? And the second thing, doesn't it help you with improving your critical thinking?
Absolutely. Having conversations with people. And,
Mhm.
again, not just necessarily people you agree with,
Mhm.
but, we see
Yeah,
that many times in our senior communities where they'll have like um, current event hour where they'll talk
right.
about the current
Different
events, and they'll
perspectives,
each
different,
will
yeah.
have different, and being able to formulate and have conversations with people, sometimes it lights a fire under people, and that's
Right.
actually a good thing, right?
Yeah,
And it asks you to tap into areas of your brain to have just conversations.
right.
We have a lot of husbands and wives that maybe live alone, and they sit and they don't converse a lot. um, Initiating conversation is
Perfect.
huge.
And Dr. Weiss, you and I are going to come back right after
Okay.
this. Answers for Elders thanks you for watching the Vitality Revolution. Discover a blueprint to find a whole new gear in life, new awareness, and greater potential. Subscribe and be a part of our community. Answers for Elders is the North Star of navigating senior care, featuring content to help later life go a lot easier.